Shaba. Good morning, everyone. KJ here. It's a crisp morning, cold outside. I'm in the house right now. Had a great weekend. I'm still a little tired, as you can plainly tell. Went fishing all weekend. Had my sister come down yesterday. She's 11 months older than me and a hell of a lot more, got more wisdom than old KJ, that's for damn sure. I got a damn scrimp and scrape any kind of freaking brain cells in this head of mine. And she always seems to clarify things for me. Good morning, Fancy Nancy, Beach Lady, I Live for Now, Daisy Sushine. Eric Jasper says, morning, everyone. I finally made it before the live started. Hope everyone's weekend was wonderful. Well, good morning, Eric. Nettie, hello. Carrie Ann, good morning. How's the kids doing? I hope all of y'all are doing really well. Now, I'm looking at you, okay? I'm looking at you. Y'all, Friday, I was in an ill-foul mood. I went back to see if I'd made any mistakes on the vid, because usually if I do, I'll put it in the comments or something. And I thought, you sound like a Karen. You sound like you got serious issues or something, you know? But I took the weekend and I unplugged, basically. I did watch some football. The hell with this whole idea that Tennessee was going to beat Alabama. But then again, you know, it's neither here nor there. But you know how much of a Tennessee fan I am. I unplugged and I went to the lake, and some of y'all saw my little short on this little blob of stuff that looked just disgusting and nasty and ugly. Well, folks, it ended up being something that's actually good for the lakes. If you see a blob of this Briabon, is what it's called. It's in the comments on the short. It tells the whole thing, what it is and all that. You'll see that it's a little ecological world of organisms that keep the water clean. And if you see one in a lake or a river or a pond, that means it's a good, a good source for wildlife in terms of water. So that's interesting, is it not, y'all? Isn't it interesting that sometimes the most ugliest things, I mean, you're looking at it right here, can actually be beneficial, and I do believe I'm beneficial. I'm beneficial because I love everyone. I know in my heart of hearts that, you know, I can only be what I can be. You know, you are the only you you're ever going to be. And so here I am on a Monday in my Snoopy and Peanuts nightgown and my cup of Java. And all of you folk that take the time out of your own precious lives to come over here and hang out with me through the good, the bad, and the ugly, I want you to know there's always been a purpose for it. As many of y'all know, you know, we're waiting. We're going to get updates once a month up to Chad Daybell's trial. OKJ loves this community, loves all of you, and I am just bound and determined, even if I stumble and fall upon myself, that I'm going to be the best that I can be of who I am, and I'm going to celebrate all of you as best as I know how. Carrie Ann says, my second oldest daughter has her yearly heart appointment on Friday, crossing my fingers that she can go another year without an open heart surgery. I'm a big ball of stress this week. Well, Carrie Ann, I would say, excuse me, I'm waking up. That's something I don't know nothing about. I can't begin to empathize with that other than to say I do know what it's like as a parent to worry for my child, even though my children are adults and out in the world. Some of y'all know the ordeal. I've got, you know, a little bit of issues, well, big issues. But I just don't think I can go into that today, y'all. It just depresses the shit out of me. So, Carrie Ann, I know that God's will will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What does that mean? You know, KJ doesn't know the answer to that. But isn't it comforting for me anyway to know that God's will is going to happen? And sometimes we think God's will is all about everything's going to turn out perfectly or the way that we want it. Well, folks, I'm telling you, anytime KJ thought that I was going to rearrange, do whatever I was going to do, hoping or whatever, praying for something to happen the way that I want it to happen, it usually doesn't. And whatever happens being God's will, it ended up being better, even if it was more painful, even if it was more struggling involved. So, but I you know, all I'm saying is that I know you well enough, Carrie Ann, to know you're strong. You've got a deep love, and that's a great, great foundation for whatever happens. Carrie Ann says it would be her 4th open heart surgery. She needs another one to remove scar tissue, but they put it off as long as they can since it's her 4th. Well, Carrie Ann, she's a tough little girl, obviously. There's just so much that can be done in the medical world to make the quality of life and people, you know, that we love and care about have better lives. Sometimes them hard things have to happen, and maybe, just maybe, on a good note here, maybe that'll give her another year. Wouldn't that be nice? We have got to all pray for Carrie Ann and her family. And I pray for all of y'all. I do. Hello, Olive. Hello, Robbie Martin. Hello, Awesome Sassy Sauce. Hello, Kathy Mama Bear. Madam August Butterfly. Y'all, I'm just so blessed to have y'all here. I really do. Everybody on here is thinking of you, Carrie Ann, and I hope it all turns out okay. The bottom line to me is that you have a big heart and a wonderful, loving heart, and so does your daughter. She learns it from you, don't you know? But anyway, so the weekend went out and went the way it usually goes in terms of going out and going fishing, going out on the boat. That's what I did. It helps me. It helps. I kid y'all not. I go out there, focus on the lake and the fall colors and the breeze in the air, the sound of the wind in the trees. You see a crane or a loon come flying across there. You see otters, you see raccoon, whatever you see. And in this case, I saw a great big blob of something that's good for the lake. That's hard to pronounce, but it is in the comments in the short if y'all want to take a look at that. The bottom line is it's non-venomous. It can't hurt you if you pick it up or anything like that. It helps the water stay nice, and what it does is it filters the water. So I got out there. We had a great weekend. Y'all, my fingers are sore. I've got a Band-Aid on this one. That's how much fishing I did. But when I get out there and fish, I kid y'all not, it's like nothing that has stressed me out or my anxiety or my depression. It's like it leaves and my mind is completely blank, y'all. And for someone like me who has an overactive mind, who is very anti-pharma, I've got to find ways, y'all, in my life in order to lead the best quality life that I can, knowing that no one has it 100% of the time, a great life. Our thoughts, the things that cause us stress, the concerns, the worry, and I'm a worry wart. I think most mothers are trying their best to beat the hell out of that. Get that off of me. I don't want the worry, right? Well, when I'm out there fishing, whether it's on a bank or on a boat, OKJ gets those little moments of reprieve. Those little moments of reprieve. And to learn something about life outside of this world, inside of a world. That in the inside world, y'all, is social media. This is a world that is worthy of friendships, relationships, um, education, and all that. It's just being able to maneuver it for OKJ. Sometimes I'm like, well, when it comes to reading books, I've got to say, what am I going to put in my brain, right? This is just me. What am I going to put in my brain? I have a choice to do that. Well, it's the same with this world inside of a world. Unfortunately, KJ's got this thing where I really want to see justice being done. And that it absolutely is connected to all these criminal cases that fascinate me, help me to see things that I normally wouldn't see, the adjudication process. I want to see these damn assholes get put in jail, in prison, whatever. Not that I want to see a life thrown away by going to prison or going to death row or nothing. It's not. I get no pleasure in that. And I don't really. I think it's just some kind of. You know what? We're stuck here on this damn planet. We've got this freaking man's law out here. This judicial system. We all know it's broken. Everything that mankind tries to do that's perfect, it never works out. But isn't it interesting that all the things that are 100% perfect, like our love for our children or our loved ones or our friends, those things are absolutely, if it is real love, we've seen the difference, y'all. We know people can come out here and say, I love this person, I love that person. But what if they can say it all they want, they can believe it all they want. But real love is God. God is love. It says it in the Bible. So when you have that real love, you're channeling God's love. God is love. And that is a very comforting thing for me. And there's some perfect things that we don't get 100% of our time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, other than what? The things that we do have 100%, and that is the love we have for others. That is something that can't be picked apart. But man's law can be picked apart. And we've picked it apart. All of us have. How many times have we said, this shit's so unfair? Why do they do this? Why do they focus more on these evil, diabolical people, and they don't even acknowledge, in a lot of ways, the victims of these crimes? Yeah, they have victims' rights written into their statutes and codes, but damn, we talked about it a couple of years ago. We went down the whole victims' right thing there, in their law and everything. It's like they're throwing them little itty bitty things when they're throwing the whole freaking whatever they're giving it all. They're giving it all to these evil people. And then they give just little bits of reprieve, a little acknowledgement, basically, that these victims do matter. So Peggy says, good morning. I enjoy watching the sunrise. Time spent with the Lord and thanking God for my salvation. Peggy, it's a beautiful way to start the morning. I'll confess to y'all, when I get up in the morning, I'm not together. My brain is not functioning. I do have enough functionality to walk down the hallway, get to the coffee maker as quickly as I can. I don't even remember going to the coffee maker. I just know I've been there. That's how I am in the morning. But when I start to sip my coffee, okay, James' mind it's like a closed morning glory flower. It's closed and then it just slowly opens. And that's when I start feeling those spiritual feelings and talking and meditating and praying to my God. It's not always 100%, 100% every single morning. It all depends. But I do my best. But that's wonderful, Peggy, that you do that. Let's see. Just when I thought my life was so quiet, living alone, my 30-year-old daughter has moved back in, says Olive. Well, there you go, Olive. Is that unanswered prayers? Or, and I'm just picking, are you a glutton for punishment? No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. Well, I'll tell you what, Olive, new things can be learned in our everyday lives. Y'all, the most important people in the world is everyone's on equal footing, but the everyday normal, I call myself run of the mill. We are the ones, y'all, that are out here. We focus in on whatever we focus in on. But these other people out here in the world, such as some of these criminals, they want to show everyone this facade, and this is how they want to live. And you have to wonder, are they really, is this a conscious decision on their part to show, as for an example, Timothy Ferritter and Tracy Ferritter wanted to show this wonderful family, this blended family, and then all of this child abuse starts, and, it's just like you can see something and you can make a determination. Okay, Jay can look and say, well, that looks like a real nice family there. But, that's an initial thing that I would think, because where do I get that? What is my definition of this normal, beautiful family, this whatever? Where do I get that? It can't be from my family. I grew up in a very toxic situation, so where did I learn? If I want to make the declarative statement, well, I see that family over there walking over there in the park. They look like a really happy, loving family. Well, how do I know? You can't know something, right? You can't know something you don't know. You can't see something that you can't recognize if you don't know about it. Well, I guess it has to do with what my immediate family. Well, then again, y'all know I've got an estranged son. I don't have the Brady Bunch family. It is what it is, really. But all of it might be a big adventure. Who knows? I know you'll have a great positive attitude. Carrie Ann says, with having 5 kids, I'm bound to never live alone. Well, Carrie Ann, I grew up in a house full of 6 kids. And all of us beat the hell out of each other. And you talking about just crazy, my father passes when I'm 10. Mom's left out here, in the stratosphere trying to raise 6 kids. We're on government G's. She's working 2 jobs. It's so hard to get that individualized attention when you come from with so many siblings in our family. So there was never any major focus on any of us, really. Ever a parent saying, okay, what do you like? Let's do this, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? So it was something that, you just grew up and you just, the old-fashioned type stuff for old KJ. Abby Zenren says, morning, I've been watching for months. I love your attitude, KJ, just to make you feel better. I woke up to a dusting of snow. Kick off to winter here. Much love, Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. Isn't that sweet? Thank you, Abby. It's been cold. We had our frost yesterday, just a minor frost. I have moved my plants in and stuff, and we had to start getting leaves up out of the yard and all that. We hired someone because the yard's so big, and there's no way at my age that I could do it. I told Wayne, I said, we could get one of those, those baggers that you put on the mower that sucks it up like a vacuum cleaner. But I wouldn't know how to unload it. We do have areas on the property where we have mulch beds, so I do have places I can put the leaves, but we just hire somebody to get them up. We'll probably have to do it 2 more times. We've done it once. We'll probably have to do it 2 more times because the Bradford pears up and down the driveway, they're the last ones to drop. It's interesting, is it not, y'all, that you can almost, I mean, some of y'all anyway, and maybe some of y'all aren't interested in that, but it's like I know at least within a couple of weeks when the irises are going to grow, when the vegetables are going to be done. If I plant something, after a couple of years, I know when they're going to bloom, when the leaves are going to fall. You know, the seasons, they change. Good morning, Tina Reddington. Mrs. Redneck Ranger, good morning to you. I hope you're having a good morning. So, y'all, as always, it's always been my desire and my hope and my prayer that everyone that's been on this channel, this is an open channel. This channel is not a show. It's always been just an open channel. We have been studying the Chad and Lori Daybell case, as many of y'all know. And month to month, we'll get a little news here and there. I have been throwing in splashes of other cases, y'all, which is something I never thought I would do. But it's just my desire to apply some of these other things to the Chad and Lori Daybell case. Just to keep us going. Y'all know how long it took us here on this channel just to get to the Hussey's trial and the things that OKJ did to keep it open so that we would all could converse with one another, talk about unrelated things, whatever. It's always been my hope that we could stay connected. It is something that is deeply, deeply part of me to keep this going until the adjudication of Chad Daybell's case, which is a promise that I made to all the Rays. So we don't know from day to day what we're going to talk about. I have committed to Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and last week I didn't get Monday or Wednesday. Obviously, y'all know why I didn't Monday. That day was for Cresha and her family. I didn't feel like I should have done anything on that day. It was stunned me about, all of this, the release of JJ's body and all that. And then Wednesday, we didn't, really get together. And then Friday, we did get together. Maybe we got together Wednesday and Friday. I don't know, y'all. These weeks are running into each other. What I am telling you now, if you regularly watch this Coffee with KJ, all you Rays and all the other people on here, please understand, if I don't show up on Coffee with KJ on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, something is up. It isn't that this is very important to me in this time to do this. But what will we talk about this week anyway? I don't know how far it will go, but I want to talk to y'all about something that's been going on in the background with old KJ since this case came to light and I opened up the channel. As many of y'all know, I print off all comments. I do. It takes a lot of freaking ink, but I do. I print off all names and comments. Everyone's name is in my house that's commented on this channel. We're talking stacks and stacks. And yes, I go through them and I analyze them. I use highlighters for different, this is just me. Is this about, say, Zulema? If there's a comment, I'll put it in a color. I've got it all where I've got it, right? Also, KJ also does outlines. And I've been doing outlines on this case for a long time. And for those that don't know what an outline is, it's where you kind of start to structure as if I would be writing a book. Okay, now KJ's not writing a book, but I do have enough material to do, I know at least a 10-volume set, haha. But I do these outlines, and I do also do free-flowing writing. When I was in college, I took some writing courses. I've had a few articles that have been put in newspapers over the years over different issues. But I wanted to take some of it. I went back, y'all. I went back, all the way back within the first 6 months of the channel opening, and some of y'all been there from the very beginning. And I would put out my thoughts in an outline, then I would go into free flowing. And I looked back on it. You know how you look back on something you wrote down, or say even look back at a picture or something, or something that you just got this impression about, and you've looked years, it's been years, y'all. It's been what, almost 4 years. And you look back and you say, dang, I learned so much after writing this. It's a lot like, you know how when we were kids, or at least me, I had a crush on a guy in middle school or something, and I wrote him a letter, and I folded it up real cute and everything, and I got up the next day and reread it and crumbled it up like, no, I can't give that to him. You know, it's like you look back and you see those impressions and the way that my mind was thinking at that time. And I thought, I'm going to write this free-flowing stuff on Chad Daybell. Do y'all remember I also wrote something where I was trying to put myself in his position about how he'd met the hussy and all that? Some of y'all remember that. Well, this isn't that. But, I mean, I've tried every avenue all the way around to try to get a little justice through understanding for OKJ. This is how I do it. So when I read these, and this is going to be this week, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing today. There's 9 pages, and I'm going to split them up, and I'm going to stop at certain points and pick up where I left off at the end of the week. And surely, y'all got to understand that there will be mistakes in this. There'll be impressions that I've had that I'm like, well, I can't believe that's what I thought at that time. Remember, we've all thought one thing or another, and it turned out to be wrong, especially when Lori's trial happened. So I'm going to go into this, and let's just be clear, okay? I've always said, whatever your thoughts, your comments, your belief on what this was all about with Chad and Lori Daybell, that is your own, just as it's my own. It does not mean that people have to agree with me. I don't have a problem disagreeing with other people, and they don't have a problem disagreeing with me, because they see what? They see through their own eyes. I see through mine. You are the only you're ever going to be. And so there have been times throughout all of this, y'all, that some of your comments helped shift things for me. And you know, it was like, well, okay, I'm going to look at this person, what this person's telling me, and I respect them, and I want them to be heard. And is any of that, could that feel right to me? This hasn't got anything to do with confirmation bias, y'all. This has to do with looking at things analytical wise, and really deciding, do I want to look at that and really realize that this person had the answer that I was looking for? And so as I read this, and please, you'll understand, this will be rather interesting, and this might enlighten you on other areas of your research into the Chad and Lori Daybell case. So I'm going to do this. Like I said, I'm going to split this up through the week, okay? And then if I can get through it through the week, then it'll, we'll top it all off at the end of the week with the remaining aspects of it. And y'all are going to some of y'all are going to laugh. Some of y'all are going to be like, dang, I can't believe that KJ even thought that. But y'all got to remember, this was in the first 6 months. I mean, for God's sake, y'all. I thought Alex murdered himself or committed suicide with an EpiPen within the first 6 months. So let's do this. Let's see what OKJ wrote down. This was free-flowing stuff within the first 6 months. And be sure on the rewatch. Rewatch! God. On the rewatch, if you have something that's popped into your head, please put it in the comments. See, I mean, how hard does it have to be? Let me take a big swig of this yummy coffee here. Light my ass a cigarette here. So here it goes, y'all. Where does one start to put together the timeline of events of a terrible and evil murder spree? How does one take those moments in action and put them together to get justice through understanding? So let's stop there, y'all. How many times have a lot of us created timelines, or we've looked on other timelines, whether it's East Idaho News, whether it's Annie Cushing, who has excellent timeline. I will say that. She is very thorough. Some of it is up in the air, but she had a good timeline. And here I am 6 months into this, and I want to create a real lasting timeline, not just about what these evil people did, but what I felt like happened. Because you can say, on this date, October the 9th, Tammy Daybell was shot at. But what was it all about, in my view? They were trying to take her ass out, and it failed. And we saw evidence of Lori telling Zulema, hey, you can't do nothing right. Well, I'll tell you what, the only thing that damn whore knows how to do right is spread those legs and let Chad jump in feet first with a freaking 2x4. There are so many times and dates that reflect the actions of the killers and others who endorsed and espoused, hid and stayed silent with the hope that everything they wanted to believe would come to pass. There you go, y'all. I thought that Chad and Lori and all these nut job cult members, I thought they actually believed this shit. This is within the first 6 months, y'all. This is proof positive. As hard as I've worked on this case, y'all, that KJ didn't have her shit together within the first 6 months, I was begging and reaching out to everyone. And here I am saying that they all hoped that what? It'd be the end of the freaking world? What the hell are they doing in Hawaii? Why ain't they grabbing up Summer? Lori's, oh, it's going to be the end of the world, Chad. We got to go get my mama, my daddy Barry. Summer, we all got to get together because the world's going to end next year at this certain date. Give me a break, y'all. None of their actions. And within the first 6 months, I didn't know all that we know now. All involved in the murders of innocent life had their own souls seduced by evil's eye. And I was right about that. It was all about evil, y'all. They can break it down in a man's courtroom. They can talk about power, money, and sex. And yes, that's the byproduct. But ultimately, y'all, this was evil in action. And they were seduced by it. Many things, actually. The eye of evil. The eye that could see what it desired the most in their flesh. And they played upon it. Well, there you go. I was right about that. 6 months in it, didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground. We had what we had. We had a probable cause affidavit. We had a short timeline, really. And yet, I think all of us are in agreement that these are some evil, diabolical people. And let's just keep in mind, this was before we got into all this bullshit about damn mental health issues or religiosity or any of that other crap. If y'all, this was 6 months in it, I'm using the word if it was a belief system that these people thought was true and wholesome, then every moment they spent toward it should have been open and transparent for all to witness. But the secrecy became monstrous. Okay, there you go. I was right about that. Many of y'all helped me understand that. And let's just keep in mind, y'all, this was wrote right during the time that we got that legal document about endorsed espoused religious beliefs for the purpose of murder. I know it was Candace and my friend Jenny, but it was Candace that talked about if Lori really believed this, say for instance, which we know different, that she really was delusional, mentally ill, she would not have had a problem coming out here and telling everybody. You know, she only kept it, and she'd tell different stories to different people. Specifically about Charles Vallow, she'd tell one person that Charles was doing this terrible stuff to her and turn around and saying he was doing something totally different. And you know and I know that Chad, until he had to grow some hair on his little itty-bitty ball sack to go and take out his wife Tammy, he was giving Lori every little bit of, I'm Harry Potter living under the stairs crap. He might as well just told Lori, you know what, I'm not happy with this woman in my life that I've had all these years and's got these kids. I like having sex with you, Lori. It's so much more exciting. Tammy won't let me do all the things I do with you, Lori. Tammy is missionary style. Y'all, I'm just, this is hypothetical. And, you know, after all these years, we don't really get into the passion of sex anymore, Lori. But when I come up to you, Lori, and I brush my hand across your breast, I feel like I can actually have an erection. I mean, y'all, let's get real. We're adults here. There ain't, you know, this is set on adult setting here. The bottom line is that Chad was not transparent with Lori about his situation with his wife. He made up a bunch of bull crap. And Lori, obviously, y'all, all the way back in Arizona after her and Alex murdered Charles Vallow, she probably told Chad a bunch of shit about Charles that wasn't true. Now, this is where the Rays are probably going to eat my lunch. But I'm willing to be transparent about the first 6 months of being on this channel and writing down my thoughts. So, y'all, remember, I'm willing to learn. This is a new paragraph. This is something I thought at the time, but here it goes. You ready? This case has absolutely nothing to do with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yet, certain infrastructure of the church, totally innocent and well organized, was used by evil intent. So, I was unwilling within the first 6 months to really put this blanket statement on an organized religion. And to this day, it bothers me. And I'm not doing that right now. What I am doing is trying to let y'all know that my opinion, which really, who am I anyway, right? My opinion that this had absolutely, I didn't say it didn't have nothing to do. No, I said absolutely nothing to do with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I did put in there certain infrastructure of the church, totally innocent and well organized, which y'all, I have looked at it, and there are a lot of good things that happen in that church. A lot of giving all over the world. It's undisputable. And yes, if you take into totality how much money's in the bank for that church and how much they're giving, you would think there would be even more. But that's an opinion from me. Who am I to tell a church how to do anything, right? The only thing I say when it comes to any organized religion that claims and believes in Jesus Christ, the real Jesus Christ, I think the focus needs to be more on Jesus Christ than anything else. All roads should lead back in any religion that claims to be Christian to Jesus Christ. No matter what any religion does through their activities, their infrastructure, their doctrines, their the Holy Scripture, whatever, should all lead back to Jesus Christ every single time. There's no way to deviate from that course that intersects from one point to the other, and the other point is Jesus Christ. And if you're there, it goes back. That's Jesus Christ too. Get it? Maybe you don't, maybe you do. So, and as with anything good in this world, as I wrote this 6 months into this case, there will always be evil infiltration, or at least an attempt to attack good, to corrupt it, to twist it. And I think over all this time, since, again, I was into this 6 months, I've really seen how some of these, I guess what you call shiny objects, people within that organized religion that get out here and do these public speaking things, the ones that end up getting, kicked out of the church and all that stuff. The bottom line is that it is a subtle thing. I think, in my opinion, and I'm not dogging anyone, the way they structure their, to say, belief in revelation and all that stuff, obviously, I don't believe in any of that. I stick to God's holy word. But just because I don't believe that people can, because they're susceptible as human beings in their flesh to take that and turn it into a God complex. It's been shown time and time again. So I would say that they need to take a good hard look. And obviously I'm not saying take that away from that organized religion, but they need some specificity to these people. They need to start getting specific. They need to be laying the hammer down of discipline on their church members, because ultimately this is, as Christian Case says, it's going to continue to happen time and time again. So I say they try to take good, corrupt it, twist it. The infrastructure of this organized religion that I'm speaking of is the way the church sets up its programs, its meeting houses, its home visits, church-sanctioned conferences, and missionary callings. Let me repeat this small list again, because these are the ones that are getting infiltrated all the way back to Banner of Heaven, y'all. You can look at it. It is the infrastructure of the way they're setting up their programs, their meeting houses, which are called wards, home visits, church-sanctioned conferences, and missionary callings, okay? Those things are being attacked, okay? Again, if you want to put a blanket statement over all the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, that's your business. I'm not going to be short-sighted, because there are a lot of people in that organized religion that are good, wholesome, loving people. All of these aspects that I speak of are productive, they're helpful, they're well organized, they bring clarity in terms of charity, in terms of giving, and it also it helps with the social environment within that religion that the church wishes to serve its members. There are rules, and those and every other organized religion attempts at cohesive and smooth running worship and discipline for all. That I am positive that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints wants everything to be cohesive. They don't want this bullshit stories out here of Banner of Heaven, Lori and Chad, freaking Tim Ballard, and others that don't get the limelight in terms of media exposure. They understand. There's no doubt that these higher ups in this church religion, they know they've got a problem. But what can they do about it outwardly without signaling to their congregation that, hey, y'all been telling us all this time this is the right way to do things. Now you're tweaking it, doing whatever you're doing. So that makes me believe as a member that something is wrong here. But the bottom line is there is no real communication between the regular rank and file members with the higher ups. And so I think if the higher ups really realize that this bothers a lot of the rank and file members, a lot more than they're willing to say, because think about it like this, these members of this church, if they have a valid argument that something is wrong within this organized religion, what is that? That's questioning, isn't it? That's criticizing, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, y'all. In my life, whenever I've been criticized, and I'm talking about a healthy criticism, criticized or I have an argument for something, people are gonna say that, I'm complaining or this or that, and not really looking at the fact that it's just addressed, whether something's done or not, at least being acknowledged that, hey, this person has said there's a problem and they're being, they got a healthy criticism for something. Those things can help. Those things can help. Try to put people in a situation where they can't say anything, and it's not even negativity. It's a healthy criticism or something they've got a good argument about. Keeping those people from helping the situation by saying, hey, I had this healthy criticism and it's a factual healthy criticism and we need to do something to make this better. It just doesn't happen, and it's not what I've seen. And I know that's hard to do because, as an organized religion, you don't want everything to be so liberal and flexible that it can be ship-shaped into something else. I get that you've got to have some kind of foundation. But what of the members that decide to venture away from these healthy aspects of an organized religion, y'all? Such as if there's something healthy about the structure or the doctrines or the way that, they socialize through these different programs, in-home meetings, whatever. What is the reason that these people are doing what they're doing? It's not about just leaving an organized religion to go and splinter off into something else. That's a major step. We're talking about freaking serial killer murder. And it would be so easy for OKJ to sit here and try to put it into that, ultimately this is about child sacrifice or the second anointing or something like that. Y'all, if I could truly feel 100% about any of this stuff, and maybe I will. Maybe down the road I will. Maybe it'll happen after Chad's trial. Who knows? Maybe it'll never happen. I don't know. Right now, I can't see it as extreme as that. All I know is that there's this thing that's not a coincidence. These people are from this organized religion that are doing these things, that are using their religion to not only sexually harass and assault women like Tim Ballard, but we're talking about murder. We're talking about how things just seem to go to the extreme when crimes are committed by Mormons. That's a factual statement. So, what of the members that decide to venture away from structure, doctrine, and truth? What is the reason for this type of well-documented offshooting from this church? And also, I have to throw it in there, y'all, in many other religions, a fanaticism takes over. Everything that is believed that used to be spirit-filled and satisfying becomes a diving board, y'all, into the abyss of man's own fleshly understanding and desires. I mean, y'all, I think I've hit the nail on that. I just do. And because of that, because they're taking this that used to be so satisfying to them, and they've decided they're going to themselves, through their own personal revelation, they're going to get on that diving board. They're going to jump off into the abyss of some new thing that does what, y'all? Makes them feel good. Gives them pleasure. Makes them feel powerful, right? But it's just, y'all, in a nutshell, it's just evil desire. And all humans, OKJ and everyone on here, we have that capacity, y'all, whether we've done it or not, to have evil desires. I venture to say there's probably nearly 100% on here that have thought a thought before and went, oh, I can't believe I just thought that. I'm so ashamed. I should have never thought that. And you just, you pray and ask God to forgive you for those thoughts. I'm sure of it, y'all. But what happens when they jump off that diving board into the abyss of their own fleshly sex, power, and money, being a sexual desire or greed desire or whatever, all it ends up becoming is lustful, intoxicating dribble. That's what it is. Let me say it again. Lustful, intoxicating dribble. Y'all know as well as I do. Anytime you saw Zulema, heard Melanie Gibb in the background at the in-home meeting, acting, Lord, that's how she sounded. And you see Lori and Chad and all these other people, they act like they're freaking high on the damn dubage. They've been intoxicated with evil, y'all. And it is so real, it can happen to anyone. Trust you me. I can't know something when I look at it unless I know what it is. How many times have I looked and said, damn, I looked over in the lake last Saturday and I saw this big old blob of something in there. I didn't know what the hell that was. It was like, ooh, that could really, really be something that could hurt us or this or that. And then come to find out it was something totally different. So that lustful, intoxicating dribble, that interpretive self-glorification, a desire for anything beyond what is given to them in this life. What is it? Can't people just be happy with what they got? It's okay to want more, y'all, but it's not a priority in life. You gotta be happy. You gotta be content with what you've got for the moment, unless you can change that. And you sure as hell ain't trying to get more to freaking murder people or hurt other people or break laws. What is it about these people that they want to do these crimes what they're trying to do to make something in their own mind, get more of something, whether it's sex, power, money, or even break laws so that they can hold up this freaking image that isn't real at all anyway? People want to say, oh, look at Timothy Ferritter and Tracy Ferritter. They've got such a beautiful blended family. Oh, that's so inspiring and all that. Well, these people are willing to do whatever it takes to hold that image up there. We've seen it time and time again, y'all. We've got a bunch of older people on here, which is a real blessing for me. That is my demographic on this channel. I've got mostly older women, a few older men, and there's some young ones on here, but mostly y'all. We've got people on here that's got life experience and wisdom. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People don't want to stop to think about what they've got, even if it's not much. It's better than nothing, right? Someone says, well, you got to see the cup half full. You don't want to see the cup half empty. Folks, I'm just damn glad I got a cup. Should it matter whether it's full or empty? I got a freaking cup, right? So, it is interpretive self-glorification, a desire for anything beyond what is given today. And what is given today, y'all? Really, in my belief system, anything, no matter what our financial situation is, how we live, our personal dynamics in our families, whether we've got problems or not, what we've got today is a blessing from God. Because we're still here, we're still living. I can't speak for everyone on here, but I know I've got my needs met. I've got a roof over my head. I've got food in my belly. I've got clothing to put on my body. I've got running water. So this belief system from this particular organized religion, and you could apply this to all religions, it becomes so warped that one doesn't even see their self in the here and now. Well, folks, here and now, KJ's on this open channel with all of you wonderful people. And I can't speak for any of y'all, but I do. I absolutely live in the here and now. I have to. And the reason I have to is because I know that God is real. God loves me. That Jesus died on the cross for my sins. This is my belief system. And that I should show humility and an appreciation for the life that God has given me. And trust you me, it's not easy to do. It's not like I think about it all the time. How things, sometimes those overwhelming feelings of things that are going wrong in my life. Sometimes the emotional feelings and the hurt of things that are going wrong in my life want to overpower that spiritual feeling inside of me that is grateful and content to just be breathing in and out with my heart beating. I'm aware of that. I'm aware how the flesh in me can very easily overpower my spiritual side if I don't take care of my spiritual self. I'm a firm believer in mind, body, and spirit. Okay? I just think they're all connected. So I have to build up my spiritual life, and I just want y'all to see this right now. My cat just brought in a chipmunk that is in my floor right now. And I've got to somehow get this chipmunk out of here, y'all. The cat just brought a live chipmunk into my house. I've got to get off of here, y'all. I love you. We'll get to the next couple of pages here real soon. I don't want Tylee to kill the chipmunk. I've got to go, y'all. I love you all. We'll get back together soon. We'll keep on this journey, y'all. I apologize, but I got to go. I'm afraid she's going to kill the chipmunk. Keep on looking.